know what's up, man. The video cut off. It cut off literally on its own, so you already know part two. That's exactly what happens when you start to see things, right? This video is for entertainment purposes, but you see, again, they cut off, so there's gonna be a two-part two, a simple video about this topic, but makes you think, why nobody's covering those stories? Why isn't it even mentioned in one of those news media and all this stuff, right? But they stay stuck on certain specific topics they want you to be stuck on. You understand how the thing works, right? This should be talked about. That's why you got these platforms, right? Social media, entrepreneurs, people who, with their channels and stuff, they cover and talk about things that nobody talk about. And there are people who do talk about these kind of topics. They do. But you see, if the video cut off as I was speaking to do a second part, you start seeing about the algorithm. You start understanding things, right? So, but again, they just told you spiritual awakening is real. Their patients confirmed it to you about what they're feeling during their spiritual awakening. They're talking about they feeling the pressure when they enter rooms. That's coming out of their mouth. They feeling pressures when they enter in rooms, but they still see the stuff the same. But they feel something different from the outside. Yeah. That's where you start feeling the energy kick in. You understand stuff because of the Most High. Again, a spiritual awakening is when the Most High removes that veil, that eye opens. Right now, you are seeing what you're seeing. And to somebody when it's new to them, I told you it's not fun. So don't listen to somebody who tells you that spiritual awakening is fun. They're not gonna tell you about the spiritual healing journey, the shadow work that you gotta do, the spiritual warfare that you go through constantly. They don't talk about that. But I tell you about this and bring this up because I go through it too. See? But they don't want to talk about that part of spiritual awakening, the shadow work, the dark work too, facing and going through that because you was once in that dark too, and going to the light both. And I told you, there's favoritism from both sides. Both favorites from both sides, man. It ain't fake. It's real. So it's not fun. And that's why I put those videos out to help you out. Because when you first go through that, just like how these patients is describing, and it's interesting that those who's describing this, like what they are feeling, they label them as the rare cases. And come on, doctors and these neurologists, you know what I'm trying to say. They know. And they're telling it to you right now. Oh, we just discovered spiritual awakening. And those patients is telling you about what they're going through. But you got to understand, it comes from the Most High first. The spiritual awakening is the Most High removing that veil from the eye to open your spiritual eye. And this is why when you go through it, that's literally your spiritual discernment. There's spiritual gifts out here. Everybody has gifts. That's why you can see things through dreams, feel it. But again, your spiritual awakening, this is why everybody around you gets exposed. Because you're spiritual. You're seeing beyond. You're seeing, see? So everyone around you is going to get exposed. This is why when you go through your plug your spiritual awakening, this is why now things is happening to you that never happened to you. You're seeing things, but you did not have nobody with experience that goes to these churches, that people in your family and all this stuff, even elders, all those who you know from out there. You don't have, and when you first go through this awakening, spiritual awakening, when you freaking out, seeing things and seeing what you're seeing and feeling the energy, you're not gonna have these people who you think would help you. They not, and they won't. They won't even explain to you and tell you about spiritual awakening or what you're gonna go through when you first go through this. No, or to discern the actions and the moods of people that you constantly see, to feel it, to see the facial expression. You're not gonna have nobody to explain it to you. And if you do have somebody who helps you out that way, in these moments to help you and to help you to understand, wow, congrats, man. But for those who do go through it alone, well, you're not, because the Most High, but I'm talking about when you think the people that's going to help you through that, they're not. That's what I'm saying. Everybody gets exposed around you when you go through that. When it opens, it's going. The Most High is gonna expose people's hearts and motives. So you're gonna feel. You're gonna see the light and the dark. Feel it. See it. See the face shoot. The shapeshifters. You're gonna see it all. And this is why you go through what you go through. So these people are just, they letting you know it's real, and the patience that they're calling real is describing it to you. That's what I'm saying. My channel is to help you as well from experience when you go through the spiritual awakening. When you go through that. It's interesting, right? How they talk about that. Now people who talk about spiritual awakening, when they talk to these stories, do they really sound the way how they try to put them or label them as to be? No, right? Oh, of course not. Because a lot of them know exactly what's going on. They know about it. Just like those that you see on TV. But just think about that, man. About stories like this, why isn't it on the cable box, the news stations? Like, why? Just think about that, man. Think about that. And I love how the article called it a new disease entity. Well, what those people are going through, they're calling it a new disease entity. The article calls it an entity, but it's called a spirit. It's a spirit. There are angels, and then there's fallen, right? There's angels, light, dark. Just know that the findings were published in Nature Genetics by Dr. Salmaya. The name is Saumya. So the findings was discovered by that person. But the video game Alan Wake is close to this story too, as well, because it's a psychological survival horror game, right? And they use the term psychological, but it's really spirituality. It's really spiritual. It's all the mind, right? And, the mind. So when they say psychological, it's with the mind. But it's all spiritual as well, because your mind is where both the light comes in and the dark creeps in. They speak, the light speaks. You get ideas, which side, the temptation to. I told you, you hear from both light and dark, and you're gonna see it and feel it from those certain people too. Feel it, see it, from both light and dark. But the crazy thing is that there's favoritism on both sides, y'all. It ain't fake. Ephesians 6:12, right? This battle's not against flesh and blood, not against a human opponent. Spiritual. Spiritual. So yeah, just think about that, man. Think about that. Unplug. Stay awake. Because it's not. It's real. It ain't fake, man.